The encounter. The spaceship glided through the stars, a tiny speck in the vastness of space. Inside, Captain Alex Carter felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. He was on a mission to explore new worlds, but nothing could prepare him for what lay ahead. Suddenly, an alarm blared. The control panel flashed red. "What's happening?" Alex shouted, his heart racing. The ship shook violently, and before he could react, a bright light engulfed him. When the light faded, Alex found himself on the surface of an alien planet. The air was thick and smelled sweet, like ripe fruit. He stepped out of his ship, his boots crunching on the colorful, strange ground. Everything around him was vibrant and alive. Huge plants towered above him, and the sky was a dazzling shade of purple. He marveled at the beauty, but knew he had to stay focused. As Alex walked further, he suddenly heard voices. He paused, straining to listen. The voices were high-pitched and filled with fear. "Help! Somebody, please!" It was a plea that sent shivers down his spine. Without thinking, he ran toward the sound. He soon stumbled upon a clearing where 4 alien girls were surrounded by a group of strange creatures. The aliens were unlike anything Alex had ever seen. They had bright blue skin, big expressive eyes, and long hair that flowed like silk. But their faces were filled with terror. The creatures, tall and menacing, were advancing toward them, growling. Alex's heart raced. He could see the fear in the girls' eyes, and instinct kicked in. He couldn't stand by while they were in danger. With no time to lose, he picked up a sharp stick from the ground and charged at the creatures. "Hey, leave them alone," he shouted, his voice steady despite the fear churning inside him. The creatures turned, surprised by his sudden appearance. Alex swung the stick, catching one of them off guard. It stumbled back, and the girls gasped. Encouraged by their reaction, he pressed on. With every swing, he felt a surge of adrenaline. The creatures were strong, but Alex was determined. He fought with all his might, using his skills from training back on Earth. Finally, after a fierce struggle, the creatures retreated, growling as they disappeared into the dense forest. Alex stood panting, his heart pounding in his chest. He turned to the girls, who were staring at him with wide eyes. "Are you all okay?" he asked, trying to catch his breath. One of the girls stepped forward, her blue skin shimmering in the sunlight. "Thank you," she said, her voice soft yet strong. "We thought we were done for." Alex smiled, relieved that they were safe. "I couldn't just stand by and watch. I had to help." The other girls gathered around him, their expressions shifting from fear to gratitude. As they began to talk, Alex learned their names: Lyra, Mira, Juna, and Kira. They were from a nearby village and had been exploring when the creatures attacked. Alex felt a connection growing between them. They were different but also so similar, filled with courage and hope. This moment marked the beginning of a new chapter. Alex realized he had not only saved their lives, but had also found allies in this strange new world. Little did he know, this encounter would change his life forever. The girls smiled at him, and he felt a warmth in his heart. He was no longer alone in this alien land. He had friends. The rescue. As the sun set on the alien planet, the sky turned a dazzling shade of orange and pink. Captain Alex Carter stood with the 4 alien girls in the clearing, feeling a sense of unity that he had never felt before. They were still shaken from the attack, but there was a spark of hope in their eyes. "What do we do now?" Lyra asked, her voice steady but laced with worry. "We need to get you back to your village," Alex replied, glancing around to assess the area. "The creatures might still be lurking nearby, but we have to be careful." The girls nodded, and together they started to move toward the direction of the village. As they walked, Alex learned more about them. Mira had a keen sense of direction and led the way, while Juna and Kira shared stories about their culture, their families, and the beauty of their world. Alex listened intently, fascinated by their tales. Suddenly, A loud growl broke the tranquil atmosphere. The girls froze, and Alex's heart sank. "Get behind me," he shouted. They quickly obeyed, forming a tight group behind him. The growl came again, this time louder and closer. From the shadows, the creatures emerged, their eyes glowing like fiery embers. They had returned, angrier than before, ready to finish what they had started. Alex gripped his makeshift weapon tightly, a surge of determination filling him. "Stay back," he shouted, trying to sound brave. The creatures charged, and Alex swung his stick at the first one. It dodged, but the second creature lunged at him, sharp claws bared. Alex narrowly avoided it, rolling to the side and regaining his footing. The girls watched in horror, their hearts racing as they realized how dangerous the situation had become. "Lyra, do you have anything?" Alex yelled over his shoulder. "Anything to help?" "Yes," she shouted back. "I have a smoke bomb. It can confuse them." "Use it now," he urged. With a quick motion, Lyra pulled out a small, glowing orb from her pocket. She threw it toward the creatures, and as it hit the ground, a thick cloud of purple smoke erupted around them. The creatures hesitated, disoriented by the sudden change. Alex felt a surge of hope. "Now, let's go." With the smoke as their cover, the group sprinted toward the trees, hearts pounding in their chests. The girls ran closely behind Alex, trusting his leadership. They could hear the creatures growling and thrashing about in the smoke, but they pressed on, weaving through the tall alien plants. After what felt like an eternity, they reached the edge of the village. It was a beautiful sight, with homes made of shimmering materials that reflected the colors of the setting sun. The girls gasped in relief. "We made it," Kira exclaimed, her voice filled with joy. But just as they entered the village, the smoke cleared, and the creatures emerged from the trees. They were furious and ready to attack again. Villagers rushed out, their faces filled with fear. Alex knew they had to act fast. "We need to defend the village," he shouted. The alien villagers grabbed their own weapons, ready to stand alongside Alex and the girls. With a fierce determination, they prepared to fight together. Alex felt a surge of pride and gratitude. He was no longer just a stranger. He was part of this community. As the creatures charged, Alex and the villagers stood their ground. He felt the weight of their trust on his shoulders. In that moment, he knew he would do everything to protect them. The battle was about to begin, and he was ready to fight for his new friends and their home. Together, they would face this threat head-on, united against their common enemy. Cultural exchange. The village buzzed with excitement after the attack. The air was filled with the sound of laughter and chatter as villagers celebrated their victory. Alex stood in the center, still catching his breath. He had never imagined he would be part of such a close-knit community. The alien girls, Lyra, Mira, Juna, and Kira, beamed with pride, their spirits lifted by the success of their united efforts. "Thank you for saving us," Juna said, her eyes shining. "You fought bravely." Alex smiled, feeling the warmth spread through him. "I couldn't have done it without you all. You were amazing out there." As the sun dipped below the horizon, the villagers invited Alex to a feast in his honor. The colorful decorations lit up the village, and a sense of joy filled the air. He followed the girls to a large gathering area, where tables were set up with delicious-looking food. The aromas were strange yet enticing, and Alex's stomach growled. "What are we eating?" he asked, eyeing a bright green dish that glimmered under the soft lights. Mira chuckled. "It's called glibber fruit salad. It's sweet and juicy, and you will love it." As they sat down, the villagers began to share their food. Alex tasted the glibber fruit, and his eyes widened in surprise. "Wow, this is delicious," he exclaimed, savoring the unique flavor. After the meal, the girls excitedly pulled Alex to a spot where villagers were dancing. The music was lively, filled with sounds that were both melodic and rhythmic. Alex felt a bit shy, but was eager to join in. "Do I just follow your lead?" he asked, laughing. "Yes, just feel the music," Kira encouraged, her smile infectious. Alex jumped in, clumsily mimicking their movements. The girls giggled, but they quickly guided him, showing him the proper steps. He stumbled at first, but as he got into the rhythm, he found himself enjoying the dance. The joy of the moment brought everyone closer together, and soon Alex was laughing and twirling with the girls, lost in the music and laughter. Later, as the night sky sparkled with stars, the group gathered around a fire. The villagers shared stories about their history, their beliefs, and the legends of their ancestors. Alex listened intently, fascinated by their rich culture. He learned about their connection to nature and how they lived in harmony with the planet. "Do you have legends like that on Earth?" Mira asked, her curiosity piqued. "Yes, we do," Alex replied, excited to share. "We have stories of heroes and adventures, just like yours. They teach us about bravery and friendship." The girls leaned in closer, their eyes wide with interest. Alex told them about ancient Earth heroes, like the legendary King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. They hung on his every word, captivated by the tales of chivalry and courage. As the night wore on, Alex felt a bond growing between him and the girls. They shared laughter, stories, and dreams. He realized how much he admired their strength and resilience. In turn, the girls respected him for his bravery and kindness. Before they parted ways, Lyra took Alex's hand. "You are not just a visitor. You are our friend," she said sincerely. Alex felt a rush of emotions. "And I will always protect you and this village," he promised. With that, they shared a heartfelt hug, sealing their friendship under the twinkling stars. As Alex returned to his temporary home, he couldn't help but smile. He had come to this alien world as a stranger, but now he was part of something special. A community bound by friendship, trust, and shared adventures. Growing bonds. The days passed quickly on the alien planet, and Alex found himself settling into a new routine. He spent more time with Lyra, Mira, Juma, and Kira, exploring the village and learning more about their lives. Each day brought new adventures, and with every shared experience, their bond grew stronger. One sunny morning, Alex decided it was time to teach the girls some human skills. "How about we go for a hike?" he suggested, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "I can show you how to make a campfire and cook." The girls exchanged curious glances. "That sounds fun," Kira replied, her enthusiasm infectious. "Let's do it." They set off into the forest, filled with vibrant plants and colorful creatures. As they hiked, Alex shared stories about his home on Earth, the mountains, rivers, and forests. The girls listened intently, fascinated by the tales of a world they had never seen. When they reached a clear spot beside a sparkling stream, Alex started to gather sticks and stones. "First, we need to collect dry wood for the fire," he explained. The girls quickly joined in, eagerly searching for the best pieces. "Look at this," Juma exclaimed, holding up a large branch. "Is this good?" "Perfect," Alex replied, impressed by their teamwork. Once they had enough wood, he began to set up the fire pit. "Now I'll show you how to make sparks," he said, pulling out a small flint. He struck it against a rock, and a spark flew into the dry leaves. Soon, flames danced in the air. The girls clapped and cheered, their faces glowing with excitement. "Can we try?" Mira asked, her eyes shining. "Of course." Alex handed over the flint, showing them how to strike it. One by one, each girl took a turn, laughing and squealing as they tried to create sparks. Finally, Kira managed to catch a spark and set the leaves alight. "I did it," she shouted, jumping up and down with joy. As the fire crackled, Alex pulled out some ingredients he had brought from the village. "Let's make some roasted glibber fruit," he said. The girls watched curiously as he skewered the bright fruit on sticks and held them over the flames. The sweet aroma filled the air, making everyone's mouth water. While they waited for the fruit to cook, they sat in a circle, sharing stories. Alex talked about his family and friends back on Earth, how he missed them but felt grateful for the friends he was making here. The girls shared their own stories of family and dreams. They spoke of their hopes for the future and how they wanted to protect their planet. "I want to travel to other worlds someday," Lyra said dreamily. "I want to learn about different cultures like you do." Alex smiled, feeling inspired by her ambition. "And you will. You have the courage to explore, just like me," he encouraged her. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the forest, they pulled the roasted glibber fruit off the sticks and took their first bites. The sweet, juicy flavors burst in their mouths, and they cheered, delighted by their cooking success. "This is amazing," Juna exclaimed, grinning. They spent the rest of the evening talking and laughing, the warmth of the fire surrounding them. Alex felt a deep sense of belonging. These girls had become more than friends. They were like family. As the stars twinkled above them, Alex realized how much he cherished these moments. They had shared not only their skills and stories, but also their dreams and hopes. This new bond was something special, something he would carry with him forever. That night, as they returned to the village, Alex felt a promise in the air, an unspoken agreement that they would face whatever challenges lay ahead together. Their friendship had grown strong, and together, they could conquer anything. The threat returns. The sun rose brightly over the alien village, casting warm light on the colorful homes and vibrant gardens. Captain Alex Carter woke up feeling refreshed. He had spent another amazing day with Lyra, Mira, Juna, and Kira, learning more about their culture and sharing stories of Earth. He felt truly at home here. As he stepped outside, Alex noticed the villagers moving with a sense of urgency. Their laughter was gone, replaced by whispers and worried glances. Concerned, he walked toward the gathering crowd. "What's going on?" he asked, approaching Lyra. She looked up, her face serious. "The creatures that attacked us before, they've returned. We saw them in the forest, and they seem angry." Alex's heart sank. He remembered the fear in the girl's eyes during the last encounter. "We need to prepare," he said, determination flooding through him. "We can't let them hurt anyone again." The villagers began to gather weapons and organize themselves. Alex joined them, helping to distribute what little gear they had. The alien girls stood beside him, their expressions resolute. "We'll fight together," Kira declared, her voice strong. As the sun climbed higher, a tense atmosphere settled over the village. Alex could feel the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. He was a visitor, yet these people looked to him for strength. He took a deep breath and addressed the villagers. "We've faced them before, and we can do it again. We know their weaknesses. We fight for our homes, our families, and for each other." The crowd cheered, their spirits lifted by his words. "Now, let's strategize," Alex continued. "We need to set up a perimeter around the village. If they come, we'll be ready." The villagers quickly moved to create barriers and lookouts. Alex felt a surge of adrenaline as he worked alongside them. They were all focused and determined, a united front against the approaching threat. The girls stayed close, helping wherever they could, their bravery inspiring everyone. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed through the trees, making everyone freeze. The creatures were close. Alex's heart raced. He exchanged worried glances with the girls. "Get ready," he shouted. "Stay sharp." As the creatures emerged from the forest, Alex felt a rush of fear and adrenaline. They were larger and more aggressive than before, their eyes glinting with anger. The villagers stood firm, weapons at the ready. The girls were beside Alex, their faces determined. "Remember our plan," Alex shouted, trying to keep everyone calm. "We need to protect the village at all costs." The creatures charged forward, and the villagers fought back fiercely. Alex swung his makeshift weapon. hitting one of the creatures and pushing it back. The girls worked together, using their agility to dodge attacks and strike when they could. Mira was especially quick, darting around the creatures and distracting them while the others took their shots. The battle raged on, and the air was filled with the sounds of growls and shouts. Alex fought with everything he had, adrenaline pumping through his veins. He couldn't let fear take over. He had to protect these girls and their home. Just as it seemed like they might gain the upper hand, a loud roar erupted, and one of the creatures knocked Alex to the ground. Stars danced in his vision as he struggled to get back up. "Alex," Lyra cried, rushing to his side. "I'm fine. Keep fighting," he shouted, trying to push himself off the ground. With the girl's help, he stood again, just in time to see the villagers rallying behind him. They worked together, forming a strong line against the creatures. Alex felt a rush of pride as he realized how much they had all grown together. Finally, after what felt like hours, the creatures began to retreat, realizing they were outmatched. The villagers cheered, their voices filled with relief. Panting, Alex turned to the girls. "We did it," he said, his voice filled with awe. "Yes, together," Juna replied, beaming with joy. As they stood together, catching their breath, Alex knew that they had not only defended the village, but had also solidified their bond. They were a team, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The revelation. After the fierce battle, the village began to heal. The villagers worked together to repair the damage, their spirits high despite the earlier chaos. Captain Alex Carter felt a sense of pride as he helped his new friends. The girls, Lyra, Mira, Juna, and Kira, were right by his side, supporting their community and each other. One evening, as the sun dipped low on the horizon, Alex gathered with the girls around a small fire. The air was cool, and the sky was painted with vibrant colors. He felt a warmth not just from the fire, but from the friendship he had built with them. "Can we talk about what happened today?" Mira asked, her brow furrowed with concern. "Of course," Alex replied, sensing the seriousness in her tone. As they sat, the girls began to share their thoughts. "Those creatures are getting stronger," Juna said, her voice trembling slightly. "What if they come back again? We need to understand why they keep attacking us." Lyra nodded. "Yes, and I feel like there's more to this story. We need to find out what they want." Alex thought for a moment. "I agree. We can't keep fighting without knowing why they're targeting you." Suddenly, Kira spoke up. "There's a place in the forest, the old temple. It's said to hold secrets about our ancestors and their connection to the creatures. Maybe it can help us understand." Alex's interest piqued. The old temple. That sounds like a great place to start. The girls exchanged glances, a mix of excitement and apprehension. "But it's deep in the forest, and it's easy to get lost," Mira warned. "We can go together," Alex assured them. "If we stay together, we'll be fine." The next morning, with a sense of purpose, Alex and the girls set out toward the old temple. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the trees grew taller and the air thicker. The vibrant colors of the village faded, replaced by the cool greens and browns of the wild. After walking for hours, they finally reached the temple. It was an ancient structure, covered in vines and glowing with a soft, mysterious light. The girls looked at each other in awe. "This is it," Lyra whispered. As they entered, the inside was even more breathtaking. Intricate carvings covered the walls, depicting scenes of harmony between their people and the creatures. Alex felt a shiver run down his spine as he realized the importance of this place. "Look at this," Juna said, pointing to one of the carvings. It showed a human and an alien standing together, surrounded by both creatures and villagers. "This tells a story of peace." As they explored further, they found a large stone tablet in the center of the temple. Alex stepped forward, tracing the ancient symbols with his fingers. "What does it say?" he asked, turning to the girls. Mira stepped closer, squinting at the markings. "I think it speaks of an ancient bond between our people and the creatures. It says they were once protectors of our land, but something changed." "What do you mean?" Alex asked, intrigued. "It seems there was a misunderstanding," Kira explained, her eyes wide with realization. "Our ancestors and the creatures lived in harmony, but something happened that turned them against us." Alex felt a sense of urgency. "If we can figure out what caused this rift, maybe we can fix it. We need to bring this knowledge back to the village." The girls nodded, energized by the discovery. "We have to share this with everyone," Lyra said firmly. "We can work toward a solution together." As they prepared to leave the temple, Alex felt a surge of hope. They had uncovered a vital piece of their history. He knew that by understanding the past, they could shape a better future, not just for the village, but for the creatures as well. Together, they stepped out of the temple, ready to face the challenges ahead. The journey to restore the bond between their people and the creatures had begun, and they would do it as a united front. With determination in their hearts, they knew they could change the course of their story. The battle. With newfound knowledge from the old temple, Alex and the girls rushed back to the village. They had to share their discovery about the ancient bond between the villagers and the creatures. As they reached the center of the village, villagers gathered around them, their faces filled with worry. "Everyone," Alex called out, raising his hand to get their attention. The crowd hushed, and all eyes turned to him. "We have important news about the creatures." "What is it?" an elder asked, stepping forward. "The creatures are not our enemies," Mira explained, her voice steady. "They were once protectors of our land. We've learned that a misunderstanding drove them away from us. We need to find a way to mend that bond." Whispers rippled through the crowd. Some villagers looked skeptical, while others seemed hopeful. "How do we fix it?" one villager shouted. Alex took a deep breath. "We need to reach out to them, to show that we want peace, but we must be prepared. If they attack again, we have to defend ourselves while trying to communicate." The villagers nodded, determination filling the air. They began to gather supplies and prepare for the worst. The girls and Alex organized a plan, combining their knowledge of the creature's strengths and weaknesses with the villagers' weapons. As night fell, a tense silence blanketed the village. Alex and the girls set up lookouts, hoping to spot the creatures before they got too close. They had all agreed to keep their weapons ready, but also to bring offerings, a gesture of goodwill. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed through the night, sending chills down their spines. "They're coming," Lyra shouted. Alex felt a rush of adrenaline as he took his place at the front with the girls by his side. The creatures emerged from the shadows, their eyes glowing fiercely. They seemed larger and more aggressive than before, and the villagers stood firm, weapons raised but ready to listen. "Remember, our goal is to communicate," Alex shouted. "Hold your positions." As the creatures charged, Alex raised his hands. "Wait. We come in peace," he called out, hoping they could hear him over the roars. The creatures paused, their growls rumbling in their throats. They hesitated, looking at each other, as if confused by Alex's words. The villagers took a small step forward, showing the offerings they had prepared, fruits, plants, and other gifts from their land. Juna stepped up beside Alex, her voice steady. "We want to understand. We want to fix the bond between our people." But just as it seemed the creatures might listen, a smaller creature broke from the pack and lunged at the villagers, snarling. In an instant, chaos erupted. "Protect yourselves," Alex shouted as the villagers defended themselves against the sudden attack. The girls fought alongside them, their movements swift and agile. Alex swung his weapon, trying to fend off the creature while also keeping an eye on the others. As the battle raged, Alex noticed the larger creatures watching from a distance, their eyes scanning the scene. They seemed conflicted, torn between their instincts and the words he had shouted. "Stay together," Alex called, trying to maintain order amidst the chaos. He saw Lyra and Mira fighting side by side, their bravery shining through. If we can hold them off, maybe we can reach the others. They fought fiercely, working as a team to protect their home. The villagers, fueled by their shared goal of peace, rallied together. Slowly, they began to push back against the smaller creatures. In a moment of clarity, Alex took a risk. He dropped his weapon and raised his hands again. "We're not your enemies," he shouted, his voice ringing out above the chaos. "We want to help." The larger creatures moved closer, their eyes locked on Alex. The smaller creatures hesitated, growling but unsure. Alex's heart raced as he maintained eye contact with the largest creature, hoping it would understand. With a final push, the villagers and the girls drove back the smaller creatures. The larger ones seemed to take notice, their posture shifting from aggressive to curious. "Please," Alex yelled, desperation in his voice. "We want to understand. We want to find peace." Time seemed to stand still as the larger creatures paused, their growls fading. They exchanged glances, and Alex felt a flicker of hope. Could they truly end this battle? Would peace be possible? The fate of both their worlds hung in the balance as they awaited the creature's response. The proposal. The tension in the air was thick as Alex stood before the larger creatures, his heart racing. He had put everything on the line by dropping his weapon, but he believed in the power of peace. The villagers, exhausted yet determined, waited with bated breath, their eyes shifting between Alex and the imposing figures. After what felt like an eternity, the largest creature stepped forward, its deep growl quieting to a low rumble. Alex felt a shiver run down his spine as he held the creature's gaze. "We want to understand," he repeated, his voice steady despite the fear he felt inside. In a surprising move, the creature lowered its head slightly, almost as if acknowledging Alex's presence. The other creatures seemed to relax a little, their growls softening. The villagers exchanged glances of hope, and the girls stepped closer to Alex, their faces filled with determination. Suddenly, a soft voice broke through the tension. "I can help," said a tall alien figure emerging from the shadows. It was a wise-looking elder of the creature tribe, with deep blue skin and markings that glimmered in the moonlight. "I am Zereth. I have seen the pain that both our peoples have endured." Alex's heart lifted. "Zereth, we need to find a way to mend the rift between our tribes. We can work together." Zereth nodded slowly. "Yes, but we must first understand what caused the division between us. Long ago, our ancestors shared the land and protected it together. But a misunderstanding led to distrust, and now we face conflict. We cannot let this cycle continue." Alex felt a surge of hope. "Then let's find a way to unite our people once more. We can hold a council, a gathering of both our communities to discuss our shared future." The other creatures murmured among themselves, and Zereth turned to them. "What do you all think? Can we set aside our differences to talk?" After a moment of silence, the creatures nodded in agreement. Alex's heart soared. This was a step forward. "Let's gather both our tribes," Zereth continued. "We can meet at the old temple where you discovered the truth. It will be a place of healing and understanding." Alex turned to the villagers, his voice filled with excitement. "We can do this. We can meet at the temple and share our stories, our fears, and our hopes. This is our chance for peace." With that, they began to make preparations. The villagers quickly worked to send messages to nearby tribes, inviting them to the gathering. Alex and the girls helped by gathering food and supplies for the meeting. As night fell, the air buzzed with anticipation. The villagers set up the old temple with colorful decorations, and the aroma of food filled the air. Everyone was nervous yet hopeful, ready to embrace a new future. When the day of the council arrived, both tribes gathered at the temple. The atmosphere was tense but filled with possibility. Alex stood at the front, flanked by Lyra, Mira, Juna, and Kira. Zareth stood beside him, representing the creatures. "Welcome, everyone," Alex began, his voice ringing out clearly. "We are here today to bridge the gap between our peoples. We want to understand each other and work together for a better future." Zareth nodded in agreement. "We have faced too much pain, but together we can heal. Let us listen to each other and find common ground." One by one, members of both tribes shared their stories, fears, and hopes. As they listened, barriers began to crumble, replaced by a shared sense of purpose. They realized they were more alike than different. As the sun began to set, casting a golden light over the gathering, Alex felt a wave of gratitude. "Together, we can protect our home and each other," he said. "Let's promise to work together, to share our knowledge and respect our differences." The crowd erupted in applause, and Zareth raised a hand to calm them. "I propose a bond between our tribes. Let us celebrate this new beginning with a pledge of friendship." Alex looked at the girls, their faces shining with hope. He felt a warmth in his chest. This was just the beginning. They would fight for peace together, hand in hand, creating a future where both tribes could thrive. As the stars twinkled above, Alex couldn't help but smile. They had come so far, and he knew that with this newfound unity, they could face any challenge that lay ahead. This was not just a victory. It was a promise of a brighter future for all. A new beginning. The air was filled with excitement as the sun rose on the day of the new beginning. The old temple was alive with energy. Villagers and creatures mingled, sharing laughter and food, a sight Alex had only dreamed of. This was the moment they had all worked towards, a chance for both tribes to unite. Alex stood at the center of the gathering, taking in the scene. Lyra, Mira, Juna, and Kira were busy helping to prepare the final touches. Their smiles were bright, their energy infectious. The girls had become vital leaders in this effort, encouraging everyone to join hands and embrace this new path. As the sun climbed higher, Zareth stepped forward, his presence commanding attention. "Today, we celebrate our unity," he declared, his voice strong yet warm. "We will learn from each other and protect our home together." The crowd erupted in applause, and Alex felt a swell of pride. He stepped aside Zareth, ready to address everyone. "I am honored to stand here with you all," he began, looking out over the mixed crowd of villagers and creatures. "Today is not just about ending a conflict. It is about starting a friendship that will last for generations." Mira spoke next, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "We will share our knowledge and traditions. Together, we can create a stronger community." As the speeches continued, Alex noticed how the creatures listened intently. They were curious about the villagers' lives, just as the villagers were eager to learn about their new friends. A bond was forming right before his eyes. After the speeches, the groups began to engage in various activities. The villagers set up booths where they could teach the creatures how to make traditional earth dishes. In turn, the creatures showed the villagers how to dance their ancient dances, filled with grace and energy. Laughter echoed through the temple grounds as the two sides began to understand each other. Alex found himself laughing with the girls as they tried to mimic the creatures' dance moves. Kira twirled gracefully, while Mira and Juna stumbled but giggled nonetheless. "We're getting better," Juna declared, her face lit up with joy. As the day wore on, Alex felt a sense of belonging he had never experienced before. This was his new family, and he realized he wanted to be part of their lives forever. The thought filled him with warmth and excitement. Later, as the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over everything, Zareth gathered everyone once more. "It is time to make our pledge," he said. "Let us promise to protect this land together and cherish the friendship we have built today." The crowd fell silent, and Alex felt a wave of emotion wash over him. He took a deep breath, heart racing, as he stepped forward. "I pledge to always stand by your side," he said, looking at the girls and then the crowd. "We will face challenges together and celebrate our victories as one people. One by one, the villagers and creatures stepped forward to make their pledges, their voices strong and unified. "We will protect our home," they shouted, a chorus of determination echoing through the air. As night fell, they lit lanterns, their soft glow illuminating the temple and creating a magical atmosphere. The creatures and villagers danced together under the stars, celebrating their newfound friendship. In that moment, Alex felt a sense of hope for the future. They had faced fear and uncertainty, but now they were embarking on a new journey together. This was not just a truce, it was the beginning of a beautiful partnership. As he looked around at the smiling faces of the girls, the villagers, and the creatures, Alex knew he had found his place. They would forge a new path together, hand in hand, ready to protect their home and each other. With a heart full of joy, Alex whispered to himself, "This is just the beginning." And he couldn't wait to see what adventures awaited them in this new chapter of their lives.